by also offering to them and living the life the way they live, offer bribe here and there, grease here and there, give something here, some people here and there, make some promises here and there, we get what we want. So why should we summon ourselves? And I'm not saying it to support what is happening, and I hope they're not going to commit our soldiers over there in Ukraine, for they have known wars for almost 30,000 years, and every decade and every year, every century, they come, they go, so much blood is being wasted there. But they have their common interest that the West we want to pursue, and then Russia want to pursue. But hopefully by the Lord will implore on them to pursue the path of peace. And that is nothing to compare to what I said in my dream, which I had actually asked that you also tell me my dream. And today is the 7 days. And we say by 7 days, then we're going to have a 7 days overlap of reflection and meditations to see if I can get a feedback to see if anybody can tell me what the dream is. And if not, we're going to go on a 21 days Daniel fast. And in the 21-day Daniel fast, by next Sunday, and I'll tell you what the objective is and what the prayer points are and what we should be seeking. But the idea is to get you to inquire of the Lord anytime that you need something or you want to come in the presence of God, to inquire of the Lord and say, Lord, here I am. So in the Sunday school today, we are trying to guide you and help you, to lead you to begin to change some things in your life. Because every time for the Lord to come to you, you have to make some changes. You have to give something up. And starting with your willingness, you must be willing in order to receive. Because we were talking about what has happened in the church that caused the division. That's the series where we are. How Satan can easily use people, even the men of God, people sitting in positions of power and principality, in order to harm the church of Christ. So when people begin to say they want God to do something for them, but actually in the same way, they are also calling upon another God. So which one is your God? And which of the God will deliver you? You call it on an idol, Amadioha, and then those that are prayed. So you call it, which way are you? Which God are you calling on to come to your defense? So these are things that we're talking about, the attitude, the shifting. Elder David here, when you talk about what is going on, I said there is a big shifting going on. That's what I can say. There is a big shifting going on. That's what I can say. Because this is not right. This is not normal. So many things are going on that nobody can explain. There are still a great many things nobody can explain. So when you see that in order for God to come in your life to do some of these wonderful things that we are talking about, there must be a shifting within yourself, shifting in your understanding and in your attitude, and making sure you walk in conformity with God, in agreement with God. Remember, previously, we have given a message to you about blasphemy. Blasphemy is a sin that cannot be forgiven. When you blaspheme, you cannot be forgiven for it. Nobody will be forgiven for a sin of blasphemy. A sin of blasphemy cannot be forgiven. Go to the book of Mark, chapter 3, from verse 28 to 30. It's an unforgivable sin. It's an eternal sin. So when we talk about blasphemy, and we talk about things like rejection of God's mercy, when you reject God's mercy and His grace to you, that cannot be forgiven. You're going to hell. What about rejection of the truth? Rejection of the truth. We already discussed it, so I'm not going to dwell on it. The rejection of the truth of God. So since we have discussed that before, so you will see that these are sins that cannot be forgiven and leave you to hell. So in Sunday school, you have to begin to reflect in your life as we go into this week. For our service is not just about you living a very happy and peaceful life, but also for the power of God to dwell in you, because God will live in you as he has promised. And in case I will mention another sin of blasphemy. Another sin of blasphemy is the sin that you continue to live in sin. Like you are enjoying it. You know that this is a sin and you go, you sin. And because you say, oh, like some people always say, oh, let's go ahead and do it after we go to confession. Oh, after we ask God to forgive us. There is no effort to change, which is why I said, and I still stand by it, like Sunday, we say that any kind of support trying to say let Nigeria solve their own problem by themselves without external interference is cancelled. It's cancelled. Because there is now, when somebody is indulging in a sin, they're doing exact same thing they had done for 50 years when the world has been expecting them to do more. A lot of the nations of the Africa, we're expecting them as the giant of Africa, the largest populated black country in the world. And that's why people brag about how it works to their advantage. But no,